And as I was saying, going into that break or after before we start taking phone calls, we're taking sort of an accounting for where we've been, and I give us a B+ on what we did in 2008 as far as from a are we further ahead or did we fall behind kind of scale. And I think we did amazing things with cooperation. And not, cooperation isn't always something where you come to an agreement and it was easy, right? Sometimes cooperation is that you fight really hard to come up with something that all people are happy with. And in this area especially, I mean, we've got lots of union undertones, and there was a lot of illogical negotiations. And I'll put it that way. I'm very displeased when we have we have intelligent people who are capable of doing great things, but somebody gets either greedy or they want too much, or it goes awry, and then we start getting stupid. One of those examples is there was a place, it was some kind of transportation company, and there was some concession talks that went on, and all of a sudden, if we couldn't get, what we were talking about, we were just going to shut the plant down. I was like, wait, is this stupid? Are we dumb? We would prefer to have nothing rather than take a concession. So that's stupid talk as far as I'm going. So we didn't really have any of those happen in 2018. Those brain dead, if I'm not getting my way, I'm taking my stuff and I'm going home type of thing. So that is a great thing. I saw TJX. That was a really hard fight. We almost did stupid things, but we pulled it back in and we built something. We added some more jobs, and we built on that momentum. Once we do one, the second one gets easier. Right? I want the next company to look at us and say, hey, I'm Tesla and I want to do business here. And we're like, hey, you know what? We're used to dealing with people. So our politicians line up, bring people into town. And then when they get here, we're not pushovers. We're not going to just give anything up. We're going to work at the best interest of the workers here and the economy here. But we're also not going to be stupid about it and just say, draw a line in the sand and be really difficult to deal with. And I'm glad that we're sort of changing that mentality. We're not being petty about this stuff. So like I said, we are building things. We're inviting the people town. We are an object. We're sort of we're a target for people who want to bring. Let me take a step back here. Now, we're touting ourselves as sort of this tech hub because we were blessed with YBI and the 3D printing industry, and that we really have YSU who's doing some amazing things in the tech world. That is our blessing, right? That is defying market principle, or that the market demand here. Tech isn't coming here because we've got a load of silicon in the sides of the hill, right? Or we don't have all this engineering that's coming out. We're doing it because we're creating it. We are the raw materials here. So that, like I said, that is a blessing. But why aren't we a tech hub as far as that Youngstown, Ohio? That's a tech hub, right? Why aren't we like Silicon Valley and California and where those engineers aren't saying, hey, when I graduate, I can't wait to go to Youngstown, Ohio. Why? Well, our pay's a little bit low in comparison, right? So we get engineers, but if I'm setting up some kind of hardware design or software design, I'm going to benefit from a lot of college graduate software engineers. A lot of creative engineers. We have a plethora of those two things. But as far as the seasoned engineers, we're going to have a whole lot of startups that go on, because that's what startups are made of these, these people that are fresh out of college. But I want the opposite to start happening. I want us to be the hub where people can't wait to, leave Silicon Valley because of all the competition, where they can pay us just as good over in Youngstown, Ohio, and the cost of living is lower, right? Or whatever. They work on bigger projects. And so, like I said, what we've done is that we've broken the mold that we now are dealing with companies, and we're building things, and we have incoming momentum. We have interest in people moving operations. I mean, I'll tell you that Amazon, what we did there might have been sort of fruitless. We knew we weren't going to qualify for what Amazon bringing something to town. We didn't have a deep enough labor pool. There were much better prospects, but just that when there's an opportunity that we go out there and put our hat in the ring no matter what, right? That energy says that we are interested in the outside world dealing with us. So from that perspective, I think we did a phenomenal job at introducing ourselves as a city that's ready and willing to do business with the outside world. So All right, some more forward-looking things. If you want to get on the line and talk to me, 330-729-9977. Everybody's watching over on Facebook Live and YouTube. I want to welcome you, everybody, and you can also text me here at 333-1570. We're going to take this break, come back, take some more of your calls. This is the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
With big savings from Menards. Add class to your bathroom with Delta. Improve your shower experience with the Delta 6-Spray Combo Shower Head. It has a pause feature, which makes it easier to shave or lather and restarts the water flow with the temperature you started with. In satin nickel, just $59.99. The Delta Porter Bath Faucet in a brushed nickel finish is $89.99 now during Menards New Year's sale. Prices are good through January 5th.
Save big money at Menards.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. Camel Police Chief Dennis Piskarczyk has been put on paid administrative leave following concerns of problems within the department's evidence locker. For the time being, Lieutenant Kevin Safera will continue as acting chief. BCI has taken over the investigation. Lordstown Village Council will have to wait until Wednesday, January 2nd to possibly approve a 10-year tax abatement for the TJX project. 27 First News reports Council was supposed to give final approval last night at a special session. However, TJX wants changes made to the language in the deal as well as some clarification. Among the changes wanted were firm dates for the construction timetable and a specific number of workers. The Mahoney County Commissioners continue to discuss ways to keep the GM Lordstown plant going. They passed a resolution in support of the plant yesterday at their final meeting of the year. Commissioner Anthony Trafficani says they're fighting to keep the plant open by reaching out to higher decision makers and even GM CEO Mary Barra. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2. For your home or business, call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory-authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Colder and mostly cloudy temperatures will only make it to the mid-30s this afternoon. Very small risk for a light snow shower or flurry. Mostly cloudy tonight with temperatures back into the upper 20s. A cold start to the day on Sunday, but temperatures will climb to the upper 30s with partly sunny skies. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm Alex George.
Have you been putting off getting dentures? How does same-day dentures sound? Refresh Dental Canfield to the rescue. Your surgery, impressions, and your new custom-crafted dentures delivered in a gentle and caring environment all in one day. You won't have to wait weeks for your new smile, surgery, and new dentures in the same day. Refresh Dental Canfield. Easy, affordable, and same-day service. Call Refresh Dental in Canfield today. 330-286-4035. 330-286-4035.
If you've been considering getting a new or used vehicle, there's no time better than now to get your new Ford truck or SUV. It's the year-end clearance event at Fairway Ford in Canfield. It's our biggest sale of the year with savings that we can only do this week. And for this sale, we're open this Sunday and New Year's Eve until 4 o'clock to give you more time to get here. Save like never before. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Message and data rates may apply. TNC and privacy terms can be found at babbel.com/terms. Please don't text and drive.
Ever wonder why Europeans seem to speak so many languages? Maybe it's because they use Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Babbel's award-winning technology gets you speaking right away, whether you're learning Spanish, French, or German. And best of all, you'll remember what you've learned.
I always thought I was bad at languages, but after using Babbel, I can tell you I was just taught the wrong way.
Using Babbel's 10 to 15-minute lessons, you can be speaking confidently in your new language within weeks.
I was amazed that I could start having real-life conversations right away. It was so fast. And now I'm speaking Spanish. Woohoo!
No wonder Babbel is the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Try it for yourself and see why Babbel is the quick way to get conversational in a new language, like Spanish, French, or more. You can try Babbel for free. Download the app or text PROVEN to 484848. Text PROVEN to 484848 to try Babbel for free. That's PROVEN to 484848.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charlie's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charlie's. 570WKBN.com. Driven by Donnell Ford, Boardman, and DonnellFord.com. Selling America's best-selling brand.
Discover
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show, your place to talk about things that are happening in the tech world, my ability to translate what's happening in that world, give you a nice, palatable, non-intimidating version of the language that's spoken and the news that's happening, and why we should care about any of this stuff and how it applies to the life here in the Valley. I'm a big champion for the successes that are coming our way, that are arriving at our doorstep, and I'm preparing all of you from a mental standpoint to be nice and accommodating when they show up at the dock. And it's a long process. There's going to be some stumbles along the way, but I'll coach you through it. That's my job here. And we'll do that as long as it frickin' takes. I don't care if we're 80 years old and we're having the same conversation. We're going to be pulling opportunities in here for us and our grandkids and our grandkids' and so on and so forth forever. A text message. I can't figure out why the picture won't come on my monitor. I bought this new in 1998. I use AOL. I think it's dial-up, okay? My phone line is good, so why? Okay, so I'm thinking that your flux capacitor might need re-bootstrapped. So try that, and I hope they weren't serious, by the way. So flux capacitor, Back to the Future. 330-729-9977. Let's go to Bill next. Bill, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hey, I got a new computer, and can't shoot through the cord. Any chance that anybody can help me with a new cord for the computer?
Like the power cord? Do you know what cord they chewed through?
Yes. Yeah. It fried the cat.
It did fry the cat?
The new computer. What's that?
It fried the cat? Is that what you said?
Oh, no, the cat's dead. Yeah, the cat's gone.
All right. Power cords are pretty available. Most of them are. You want to check to see if it's sort of like a standard power cable, and you can pretty much check with any computer company, and they're $5 cables. If they're specific to your brand of computer, you might have to order one. Do you know what brand yours is?
It's an IBM.
IBM. Okay. All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Yeah, check to see the power jack and what size it is, and that could probably be ordered from the vendor. But most of them, I would say 90% of the ones on the market are the standard ones that you can pick up at any computer supply place. Even Best Buy has a couple of those. But that was so we had a reference to Back to the Future. Now we have a reference to Christmas Vacation. So I want to thank the creativity of those callers that want to bring a little bit of extra spice here on the program today. So, all right, the next one, more text messages. Let me read some more. For the guy having the problem with MP4, try downloading free VLC. VLC, okay, so really good recommendation. So whoever you are, thank you for that recommendation. VLC is sort of like an open source video player, and it's powerful because it figures out a whole lot of things on its own that other video players stumble around with. There was a whole lot of licensing and stuff that went on for a period of time. So there's a lot of players that really just struggle when there's any of these older files going on. VLC is sort of like your utility program that kind of figures that stuff out. So as a problem solver, troubleshooting step, you might want to download VLC. Just be very careful because VLC is a free program. Make sure you trust the source that you download it from. There's a lot of not real versions of VLC that you got to be aware of. So just make sure that you go get to the right VLC, download it, install it, and then you can use it. We use it as almost a primary. We never have a problem with video playing over VLC. So thank you, Texter, whoever you are out there, for the recommendation. Appreciate it. Let me go on to the next topic here. And this is sort of looking forward. I'm taking this list from in every January they have a Computer Electronics Showcase, CES, that sort of illustrates what's happening in tech. They got keynote speakers. All the companies send their best and brightest to set up demonstrations about what's going to happen next. And some of the topics I took down and I thought, hey, let's talk about them and look at them through a Youngstown perspective and see what we want to do about these things coming from our hometown. First one is, let's see, the 5G. Okay, so 5G is our next wireless protocol. All of the cell phone providers decided that in 2019 we're going to be switching over from what we're used to right now, which is LTE, to something new, which is 5G. So that means that if you as consumers are looking to buy a phone, none of the phones you're going to buy right now are going to have 5G receivers, but most of the providers are going to start building phones that have 5G. So if you're real close to not buying some equipment, you might want to hold out mid-year to see if any manufacturers have started creating any handheld devices that have 5G receivers in it. Now, there won't actually be any providers that are giving 5G, especially here, right? It'll start in other bigger markets. But eventually, you have zero chance of the phone. If you sign a contract right now and you're planning on keeping a phone for 4 years, 2 years from now, we might get 5G close enough to us to make it worthwhile to have a phone that has a 5G receiver. So that's one thing to consider is 5G is on the horizon. The difference is, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of math here. And I was told early on, never do math on the radio because it translates amazingly well over the spoken word. But we're going to try. Okay, so we express internet speeds in megabit, right? We express data capacities and bandwidth in megabyte, megabyte, right? And so when we say our download speed is 50 megabit, if we want to translate 50 megabit down to how many megabytes, like if we start downloading a 5 meg file, how long it will take if we're using megabytes. So if you have a 50 megabit connection, you would divide that sucker by 8. And that's going to tell you how quickly you can download a capacity file. So a 5 meg file, I would say you could probably do, I can't do the math right in my head, so I'm going to guess you can probably do about a 50 meg connection, a 50 megabit connection can download a 5 meg file. 50 megabit per second. So that's megabytes per second. And so the difference between 5G and LTE, that's pretty much what you're experiencing right now. You're doing about 50 megabit. The 5G is testing at 4 gigabit, okay? Not 50 megabyte or megabit, 4 gigabit. So times like 1,000. So or times like 100. So if you're downloading a 5 meg file and it takes you a second over your 50 megabit connection, if you had a 5 gigabit connection, you can do 500 megabytes in a second. Okay, so the difference is that if you're downloading a movie on demand, because you're more capable, you can stream and do bigger files at better quality in the same amount of time. Where you can download 5 megs a second over LTE, you're going to be able to do close to 500 megabytes per second. So that sort of like that is way faster. So it's like I said, it's worthwhile considering having equipment that can do that extra speed, because if it goes well, they get a lot of subscribers, they roll out networks that are 5G super quick, you'll have hardware. You won't be stuck with a cell phone that isn't doing 5G. So that's, like I said, that's a little heads up on the horizon for 2019. AT&T, I believe, was the first to say mid-year they were going to have a Samsung phone that's on their schedule that has a 5G receiver. So that's, again, a little bit on the horizon. So 330-729-9977. Let's go to Larry next. Larry, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hey, Joe, happy birthday.
Hey, thank you.
I got a small problem here. I listen to you guys down here in Steubenville on iHeart, okay? And a lot of times when I fire up my Windows 10 or my Windows 7 machines, I can't log on to the iHeart station. It won't connect. Now, when I fire up my Samsung Galaxy tablet, no problem. Connects right up. Any ideas?
Well, when I'm troubleshooting any kind of player, be it iHeart's player or Pandora or anything like that, it's usually either something in the browser that's stopping the connection, or you have some security software. So that we've had to, in the past, maybe create some exceptions for iHeart's domain, and then once we create the exception, it's not as strict as far as the security, and it'll let the streaming come through. What I'll probably try to do is maybe download another browser. So let's just say you use Chrome. Download Firefox. Right. You use Chrome right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So try to do Firefox and try to do iHeart on Firefox. Now, if it plays on Firefox and if they don't either one of them play, then it's probably your security software, like your antivirus or your your McAfee or Trend Micro or Norton or whatever that is.
Okay.
But if it plays in one and not in the other, then it's a setting within the browser. A lot of times just resetting the browser, putting it back to factory, just the browser side, and then turning your bookmarks back on will be enough to get it to play again. But try those two things.
Okay, great. Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it. Because you got to understand that when you're playing audio through a browser, right? That little player is a little application. It's a program, and so your browser's allowing a bunch of code to display and execute, and then match up with an audio stream that iHeart's putting out. So your browser has to allow all that stuff to happen. And sometimes the browsers get a little strict. And they look at that and say, whoa, we got some stuff executing. So sometimes you look down at the bottom of the browser and says, hey, there's some content that was trying to load. We stopped it. Do you want it to load the next time? And then if you were doing something like trying to get a player to load, hitting yes and then refreshing the browser will a lot of times let that player do what it is, do what it was supposed to. But again, it might not even be security. Sometimes we just got to reset the browser. It gets inundated with these little attachments, and it starts stumbling over itself just because it isn't able to perform very well. So if you even go to like Chrome and then you go to extensions, you can see all of the add-ins that are attached to your browser, and some of those you might not even need. You can just hit disable or uninstall, and the browser will actually work a lot better without a lot of some of those attachments. Just be careful that if you actually benefit from some of those, they're not going to be allowed to talk to the browser like they were before. So just a caution. 330-729-9977. Mark's next. Mark, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hey, Joe. Thanks for providing such an informative show. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for calling.
Hey, I do professional video production. I've had this computer for several years. It's a dual Xeon with like 12 megs of RAM. It was a pretty decent system when I bought it, but it is getting older. I'm considering putting in a solid-state drive in it as the main master drive or C drive. And I guess I'm trying to figure out, is there a way to test to see if there's bottlenecking going on now, to see if there would actually be performance improvement, or or is it worth the investment to put it in? That you're trying to figure out.
Well, they have a bunch of benchmarking tools, but when you're going from mechanical to solid state, it's so off the chart that when you start benchmarking and adjusting small settings, you're talking about 40% gain in performance, not like 1% and 2%. So it's going to be profound going from one to the other.
Mm-hmm. Now, even with video editing, where, like, say the processing can only handle so much processing at a time. That's what I think I'm trying to figure out. Is there a way to find out if I'm being bottlenecked from in-out type bottlenecking, or is it just being at the rate of, like, say, rendering based on my hardware? In other words, the processing hardware power.
Well, when you're thinking about your weakest link here, okay, so let's just say you opened up performance and you're watching your CPU levels. Okay, so you want to make sure your CPU is not pegging out and getting stopped up there. So you start rendering something and you say, hey, my CPU is pegging out. So you're immediately going to say, well, what's going on? My CPU is plenty fast. Well, if the slowest part in the computer is the hard drive, if it's not recording the data as quick as it's being rendered, then the computer has to wait for the hard drive to catch up. So now the computer has to do more stuff so that it can slow itself down to the point where it can keep up with the hard drive. And that's what I'm saying. Like, once you do the hard drive, okay, and that the hard drive can receive data faster than the processor can create it, then you can go look at the processor and see at what level, you hit render and you start to get a video compressing or whatever, and you can watch what your CPU does. And that way you can start to track it down and see where your weaknesses are. It could be hard drive speed, it could be memory capacity, it could be CPU power, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you think it's okay if I were to, like right now we store our files on a large, 8 terabyte external hard drive. If I were to say we're working on a project, if we were to take the files that we're working on and dump them onto the solid state drive while we're working on it, is that you think the smart way to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Use the big 7 terabytes as your storage, but use the fast memory on the solid state drive to work on active projects. That's absolute.
Okay. Okay, very good. Well, thank you very much for the help.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for calling, Mark. Good luck to you. Appreciate it. I always love talking to our professionals out there that are, out in the real world, doing stuff, making stuff. And like I said, the density of creativity in this area is immense. I run into people every day that have a knack for the imaginative, and it just astounds me with how much we have here. So we're really blessed and lucky to have that. So let's go back to our topics here. The first one we were talking about when we're comparing ourselves in this review was the 5G comparison. We're going to have a little run-in with autonomous vehicles here in the coming years. A couple shows back, I mentioned that Youngstown got a pretty big city development grant, and we're going to have, I believe, part of the project is having some autonomous vehicles running around downtown. And I think that's a game changer because, one of our big objections is that when we want to go down and do something in the city, the parking's kind of difficult. But if you had good transportation that was, predictable, like when you go to Las Vegas and, the Strip is huge and it is really tough to park. So if you didn't want to try to park a block from where you were going, if you wanted to park further down the Strip where parking's easy, that there's a bus that goes from stop to stop all the way down the Strip until you get to where you're going. You know that there's good sidewalks and there's good signage and it's easy to get around because that's the purpose of it. So if we have a downtown where you could pretty much park anywhere, you can park, over by where the city building is downtown or over by Covelli, and then take these autonomous things that pretty much run a cycle of just downtown over and over and over again, parking becomes way less of an issue because as long as those autonomous vehicles connect close enough to where those big lots are, I think that takes a lot of the burden of parking away. So lots more to talk about. We got some texts to read when we come back from this break. If you want to get lined up on the phone line, 330-729-9977. All show long, I'm going to be rambling about what's coming next to Youngstown, all of my dreams and goals, and coaching you guys up to sort of be prepared for what's coming at the dock next. So you're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Quiet, comfort, and affordability. The most important things when choosing a place to live. Westchester Square Apartments offers something to fit every need and budget. 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, and studio apartments. They rent apartments, but they sell convenience. You can find luxury living at Westchester Executive Apartments, 1,200 square feet of upscale living with carports, or independent senior living at Westchester Commons, strategically located in the center of Austintown, right next to Route 11. For the perfect apartment, call 330-799-5758. Come and be a good neighbor in a community of good neighbors. Westchester Square Apartments, Austintown.
The holidays may be gone, but not that sagging jawline and double chin. Now you can just make them disappear. Introducing the brand new Genucell jawline treatment with dual peptide and MDL technology, Chamonix's most advanced technology ever. It not only tightens saggy jawlines, but it also plumps the lipophilic layers of your skin to contour and define the jawline within minutes. Using peptides and metal